Now, let's look at this question. The graph of a quadratic function is given here. Choose the function's equation. So we have 4 different choices. Which one is the correct one? The best way to test which function we should choose is to look at the vertex. We know originally we have a f of x or y equals x squared. We know this is the picture. Again, you may do is play this frame by frame. You see, -2 squared is 4. So -2, 4, this point is on the graph. Again, -1 squared is 1. -1, 1 is on the graph. So we have this picture. This vertex, the lowest point from origin 0, 0 goes to -2, -2 here. 1, 2 horizontally, 1, 2 vertically. So we know this is -2, -2. Previously, if we plug in 0 for x, we should have 0 for y. Now, if we plug in -2, we should have -2 for y. This is what this picture says. See here. If we plug in -2 for x, we should have a -2, the lowest point for y, right here. Okay. So, when you plug in -2 here, if which one gets -2, that one would be the answer. Now, apparently the last one. You plug in -2 here, -2 plus 2 is 0. Squared is still 0. Minus 2, so you have a 0 minus 2 is -2. So that's the one right here. So here we want to draw a conclusion is for the horizontal direction, when you have here is x plus 2, that's really to the negative direction. So normally we rewrite this one. It's like this. It's like what? F of x equals x minus -2 squared and then minus 2. In this way, you then look at here is -2, here is -2. Horizontally, you know that's -2 units. So that's 2 units to the left. But here for each value, you always subtract 2. So for the vertical direction, you want to see if here is negative or positive. Negative means going down, but here you want to see minus negative. Okay, it's different. Here is x plus 2. You really want to look at is x minus -2. So it goes to negative direction horizontally. And here, -2 goes to the going down 2 units down to the below the x-axis. That's what we want to know. Okay. This question is our question 3. We know, again, previously we have our picture f of x equals x squared. It's again this picture. this picture is above x-axis. If you put negative sign in front of x squared, then every number here you have to put a negative sign right here. And so if here is x equals -2, and there is a negative sign in front of x squared, here really is negative. Instead of the point that is here, it should be down below somewhere here. So is this point. So then we know this picture is actually, if you have a negative in front of x squared, you flip this picture in this way. And then you want to see is this vertex is actually 1 unit up. So in this case, this point is actually goes here. Again, you want to look at the vertex. It is shifted from the origin up to this height, 1 unit up. So really, again, when you see plus, it's vertical direction. When you see minus, like previously we have a -2 here, so it's going down. But here, if you see +1, is this point going up. So basically what we like to choose here is the one f of x equals -x² + 1, the third one. Again, when you plug in 0 here, you should get +1. Which one is correct? You plug in 0 here, second one, 0 squared is 0, 2 times 0 is 0, and you got -1. That's not correct, because this one is 1 unit up, is positive. And then this one is the same. You plug in 0 here, -0 squared is 0, you -1 is still -1. But here, vertex is positive. So we immediately excluded second and the fourth choice. We have chosen the third one, which is correct. Then you may wonder, why not this one? Because you plug in 0 here, you still get +1. You see -0 squared is 0. 2 times 0 is 0. You still get +1. But why not this one? This one involves the horizontal shifting. That's why you may use your calculator. You see, turn on your calculator. I already input the equation here for the first one. If you want to input, make sure you choose negative sign, not minus, negative sign. And here is the x, and then squared, no. Squared, and then plus 2x, and then +1. If you hit enter, if you hit the graph, you will see the picture like that. So this one involves the horizontal shifting. Okay, you may zoom in to see the picture. To zoom in, you want to click on this button, and the second one is our choice, is the enter. You see, we zoom in, the vertex goes this place. 1 unit to the right, and it sounds like 2 units up right here. Okay, so it's not the first one. Here we are still have the center. The vertex is on the y-axis, and here the vertex is not, so it's not the first one. Okay, now question 5. Question 5. You may want to check again is the vertex. Here we want to find the coordinates of the vertex for the parabola defined by the given quadratic function. The vertex, you can see here, is always the lowest one, lowest point. At this point, when x is 0, y is 0, choose the minimum value. You may also see previously, for question 4, if the graph is flipped, then it will be the highest point. So vertex is either the lowest point or the highest point here or here. Okay, that's what we want to keep in our mind. Now, here we try to analysis. We know that x minus 1 squared is greater than or equal to 0. See here, the first part, x minus 1 squared. Because any number, negative, positive, you got here, if you square it, you always get greater than 0 or equal to 0 at the place 1x equals what? You plug in 1 here, 1 minus 1 is 0, 0 squared is 0. So this place really is at the place 1x is 1. You then have a 1 minus 1 here is 0, 0 squared is 0, and then originally we have a subtract 1, so then 0 minus 1, you have a negative. So really at this point, x minus 1 squared is always greater than or equal to 0. And then we have a subtract 1 here with minus 1 on both sides. So this is true all the time. This is the range of y value. Okay. So y is always greater than or equal to negative 1. Cannot be less than negative 1. Always greater than or equal to negative 1. Y is in which direction? Y is in vertical direction. So negative 1 is the lowest point. So this is negative 1. Lowest point is right here. Its graph is always above this dotted. But at which point the graph will be negative 1? We have a set that x equals 1. That means when x equals 1 here, we should have negative 1. This is the algebraic explanation. So at this point, we have a negative. We have a negative 1. Okay, this point. and this is 1, negative 1. All right. So then you can see again x minus 1, this one squared, and then minus 1 is actually, when you see x minus 1 is actually positive direction, shifting to the right. And then you look at minus 1 is really 1 unit downshifting. So the graph is actually like what? Actually like that. Okay. So the vertex is the one right here. 1, negative 1. So that's the one right here. 1, negative. Okay. This is how we got 1, negative 1 right down here. If you have a decimal, you may also use the web to help you. You say x minus 1 and then squared squared. How to input squared on your keyboard? You have a cursor like this, so you want to do shift and arrow up on your keyboard. That's the number 6. You see number 6 on your computer. Press shift and then concurrently press number 6. It goes that far, goes to the exponent. Then in input 2, you may then arrow key to the right and then minus 1. It will give you this picture. You forgot about y, it doesn't matter. It will show up like this. Okay? So we may stop right here, and I'll see you next time.